to run through the money, now I'm too old. Man, I'm just playing. Shot when I land. Promoter paid for 6 flights. Got the team right. I just told Mr. Band. Came in for the bands. Beachside Villa for aesthetic. Just because and I don't even like the sand. Stan Smith sneakers on the beach. That's the water. I just came in for the tan. This was always planned. You wouldn't understand. I could turn a Chevy to a Cullinan. I could turn the roads to an AP. I came from sorry sir to come again. I came from 2 screens to HD. Tell her why you mad for. Go on, tell her why you mad for. No new friends, I couldn't catch a win until I cut off the loose ends. Used to whip the under in the trunk of that 210s. Just like that too. Out the speakers was max speed. Couldn't say a thing about the way if you asked me. Never caught the chain, I was always trying to gain green. Riding around with my sexy love in the passenger seat. Tell her why you mad for. Go on, tell her why you mad for. Go ahead and just give me a reason not to change on you once I give me a million. I got checks in Hamburg, I might fly out this evening. I got checks in Moscow, I'll be back in a weekend. If it wasn't for COVID, I'd be in Europe touring. Counting cash on the couch is getting kinda boring. Must be talking about kids when you talk driving foreigns. Say I'm lying and I'm telling stories, or you can't. Tell her why you mad for. Don't tell her why you mad for. Silly. Soft spoken, I can hit the studio and spit till my jaw's broken. For records in the hour, I'm not bragging, it's all boasting. Turn the top 10 a bar for bar and it's all coasting. And it's easy for me, just tell me go and I'm on go, it's no reason for me. Doing features for a feature that's reaching for me. My next show's a mattress store, they been sleeping on me. See they took my style, see they been peeking on me. That's why I'm mad for.
They try to say like, ooh, that's a cute song, that's a cute song. But let me bar for bar real quick, just to wake you up, get you out your seat, just like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, a little reminder. Set a reminder on your phone, wake up at 6 a.m. like me, go to sleep at 12 like me, and it's still sleep gang. You gotta get your rest, stupid.
What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe? Let's go. Let's get a round of applause real quick. Good boy, Tay Biz, man. Welcome to Biz Nation. How is everybody doing today, man? It is a Whiskey Wednesday, hump day. Listen, man, it's been crazy. This is the last month of the year. We are embarking on 2025 to show its head in about a few more weeks. All right. So everything's everything. What up, Doe? Shout out to the main man, my boy, Kissing Pink, aka I call him KP. What up, Doe, dog? Glad to have you in the building. Chill is in the building. What up, Doe? We got some more people watching, but anybody saying nothing, it's all good. Love y'all too. As always, you feel what I'm saying? We about to get it in today, man. We about to get it in today. Look, got the champagne popping. Let's go, fam. Hey, let's go, dog. Cheers to you, baby. Cheers to you, man. Let's go. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Listen, this has been a crazy, crazy year. All right. A crazy year already. It started off with your boy, Club Shay Shay. It started off with Cat Williams. Then after that, it just went all the way left. All right. It went all the way left. That's real talk. But the beautiful thing about this, though, is the fact that, you know, we are progressing and we are starting to see things unfold. We are starting to see things come to the true head of it. You know what I'm saying? We had the YSL trial all year long, the longest trial in Georgia's history, finally come to a close for the most part, just about a few weeks ago, you know, with Thug taking a blind plea. You know, Marquavius Huey taking the plea. You know, the only ones that was standing was Shannon Stillwell and your boy Diamante Kendrick, and then look at how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? Like the jury was like, yo, not guilty. You know what I'm saying? For Diamante Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? With the not guilty, man. You feel me? Like them boys went to the like not guilty. You was accused of murder. You was accused of RICO, all that kind of stuff. You was found guilty of nothing, of any of it. None of the defendants was found guilty of RICO. None of them, right? Think about that. Which lets you know that this RICO statute that they have in Georgia is the most flawed statute that they have. And they try to use it just to bully themselves into things. And it's not there. They said no RICO, he not here. Exactly. It said no RICO, he is not in the building. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend that your boy Tay Biz is in the building. And I got a few people with me. Yo, man, this is crazy, man. What else happened this year, man? We had the Diddy got raided, got his house raided, right? That happened this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just recently the CEO of a health company just got killed and whatnot. I mean, the presidential election just happened. You know what I'm saying? We had a woman vice president come into the fold and actually be a candidate, a Democratic nominee. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Trump got reelected. I mean, all kind of stuff going on. Your boy Elon Musk is endorsed him. Your boy Robert F. Kennedy endorsing Trump so that way he could become one of the spearheaders for the health movement that he wants to implement, which is not having artificial foods and things in our food and stuff like that, and artificial chemicals and all that kind of stuff going on. I mean, it's so much going on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot has gone on all year long. I'm probably missing some stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But there's so much stuff that has gone on this year, and we are finally here in the 12th month, man, of the year. Yo, and I end the year off with my birthday on the 30th, man. So I'm excited about it though. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to go live. I want to go live on my birthday, man. And hopefully some stuff happens within this time frame. But I want to go live on my birthday, and I want to be able to just share love with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Turning 42 years old, man. So I'm excited about that. To see another year is nothing but God's grace, his mercy, and his love for me, which I can't even understand why a lot of times, man. But hey, he loves me and I love him back. And this year is gonna be good. This next year coming up, it's gonna be so tight, man. This channel right here is blow up situation time. I started doing this channel on a serious level around like the end of July. Man. And so from July to now to have over 1,700 subscribers, to have over 100,000 views on the channel, and I can't do it every single day like I want to, and I can't, you know, do a lot of stuff because I have my own schedule and stuff like that. I'm telling you, God has been blessing me, and I appreciate it. God, he's KB said, "Dang, I thought you was in your 30s." Well, I appreciate that, fam. I appreciate that, but your boy's in his 40s, bro. 42 years old, man. I'll be 42 years old. Tracy Talk said, "Hey, I'm late." I'm like, "Nah, you ain't late. You right on time. Right on time. Listen, despite the look on my face, you're still talking." What a name, first of all. Shout out to this person. Shout out, dog. What a name. Shout out to you. But you old. I'm old. Hey, 42, man. I'm in the building. I'm all right though. Say you're younger than me. Hey, man. Hey. To God be the glory, man. To God be the glory for all things, for sure. Look here. September 23rd. Let's get mine time back in. It's actually on Christmas, KP. It's actually on Christmas where I'm actually eligible to apply again for the monetization. So I took some things into consideration, and I was able to get my channel the way I wanted to be. And so hopefully things go well. Hopefully things go well. All right. Hopefully things go well. We are in the building. We got people in the building that show your boy love. Excuse me, it's a little bit hot in here today. Yes, sir. All right. So I want to get into the live right now, man, because again, you saw the thumbnail for sure. And I'm telling you right now, time is in the building. My bad. Time is in the building. That Biz Nation St. Lucia and Barbados was fired. How's everybody, the chat family doing? Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving with their beautiful family, and let's be consistent every day. Absolutely. And that's another thing I do want to say too, is that I hope everyone had a very beautiful Thanksgiving with their family. There's a lot of times we use that time for family time, which is well needed. You know what I'm saying? So that is what's up. But yo, again, we about to get into this live real quick. Let me go ahead and get my face together real quick. So the thumbnail, you see that we talked about the sheriff who killed the judge from Letcher County, Judge Mullins, this year. Another thing that happened this year in 2024, which was wild. All right, no one has ever even heard of a sheriff killing a judge before, ever. This story right here was one of the ones that's like, yo, I couldn't believe it, honestly. And I couldn't believe the fact that the judge had a video camera in his chambers. Okay. All of this stuff was just real sketchy to me, right? And so when we first acquired the story here about, like covering it on this channel, I was like, man, I want to be able to do a head to toe cover on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Almost every day or every other day, I've been just looking and searching to see any updates and stuff like that. And we got some updates. Now, the last time we had a nice full house of people in here, and we was talking about the difference between first degree murder and manslaughter, crimes of passion versus premeditated crimes. And when we broke it down, we was talking about it. It was a very mixed type of approach to this, right? Because some would say, oh, he meant to do it because he had lunch with him before that, and he saw the phone, and he saw his phone, and he saw his the judge phone, and he saw that the judge phone had his daughter's number in it, and all this kind of stuff. And then at that moment is when he snapped and did it. And that could be very, very true. That's one of the things I believe, is that I think he had a moment of where he was trying to discover some information and see what was going on. He probably had some stuff already like brewing. He was like, man, I just hope this man who's been my friend, I hope this man don't have my daughter in his phone. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, he goes through the judge's phone, and the judge looking like, nah, hold on, it's not. And then boom, it happened, right? Now, remember, there was a preliminary hearing. There was a hearing before about a couple months ago where the sheriff came into the courtroom, and the lead detective for the courtroom, the lead detective of the case mentioned something about Sheriff Stines saying something about they're trying to take my family, they're trying to kidnap my family. Something like that, right? And he was basically saying that this is what I was doing to protect my family, right? And so the detective also mentioned how about the phone, the information of the phone. Then we found out later on what the information was on the phone. It was the sheriff's daughter on the phone, of the judge's phone, and the judge's name for the daughter in his phone was police. Okay, was police. Now watch this though. Previously, a year before, there was another sheriff who worked in this area by the name of Ben Fields, who was accused of having sexual relations with inmates in the judge's chambers. Okay, now, of course, the judge knew about this, had to have known about this, right? Had to. So that particular discovery happened a little bit later after we found out about, what they was going to charge him with and stuff like that. Pretty much the state is saying we charged him with murder of the first degree, which could be, punishable unto death, I believe, in Kentucky. I believe he can get the death penalty. So now let's fast forward 2 months later, and let's fast forward to 2 months later, let's fast forward to about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, this sheriff was arraigned. Okay, he was arraigned. In this particular arraignment, he pled not guilty of the charge, right? And so I do have the video for that, but also there's some more information that has come about with this judge, all right? With this judge, where he was doing sex work for favors. He was doing sex for favors, okay? This has gotten crazy, all right? This has gotten crazy. So what we're going to do is before we start getting into this thing real quick, again, smash the like button because it helps me get into the algorithm, helps me get out there. So keep liking, keep hitting up the chat, share this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. We're about to go for a nice little ride. All right, we're about to go for a nice little ride with this. First, we're going to go ahead and look at the arraignment of Sheriff Stines. I think it was about maybe a good 8 to 10 minutes or something like that. Pretty much saying, hey, how do you plead after all of this? You know what I'm saying? This is where he could plead guilty or not guilty, right? You know what I'm saying? So definitely he's about to he already pled not guilty, but we want to see what's going on. And we also want to see the shocking discovery of things that have taken place. And oh my God, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Sapphire in the building saying, what up, though? Hey, Sapphire, how you doing? Sapphire Ridge News, what up, though? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we got a small little family. We got a little family setting going on. It's not the normal 1 to 200 people, you know what I'm saying? But it's a nice little family gathering, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it's so much more that meets the eye, because one of the things that they mentioned about the sheriff and the judge, the connection in it, oh man, that whole thing. So it's so funny because the lead investigator from a couple months ago was saying what Sheriff Stines was yelling, about they're trying to take my family and kidnap my family, stuff like that. And then this news that this recent development of things that now we have going on. I'm like, Stines, Mickey. His nickname is Mickey, right? Like Mickey, bro. For real though, was you the judge? Oh, come on, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. And then some people got confused a little bit about the thumbnail about sex for favors. And I'll let it play. I'll just let it play. I ain't gonna spoil it. I'll let it play, man. I'll let it play. It's so much more that meets the eye. Like Sapphire said, I totally agree. It's so much more that meets the eye. But let's go ahead and take a look at this arraignment. And then we're gonna go from there. All right. Hit a 1 in the chat for me real quick. Go ahead and smash the like button once again. Let me know when you're ready. Let's go ahead and get into this. Shout out to Cat Now Williams as well. She gave me some information last night about Tony Busby, and I think I'm gonna do a video about that. Man, it's pretty crazy. This whole Jay-Z Diddy, this whole Busby thing is crazy as well, man. And somebody from Texas that's familiar with Busby said something on my X account, or they re-quoted something that I did, or quoted something that I did, and then they added some information to it, give it some context. It was pretty dope stuff. So hopefully I can get to make a video about it soon this week. So come on, let's go ahead and get into this. Here we go.
Now let's turn to Kentucky for the arraignment hearing in the sheriff shoots judge murder case for Shawn Stines.
There's a case that shocked not just Kentucky, but people around the country. Former sheriff goes in and kills his buddy, who is a judge, in his chambers. This was just a few months ago. This is the first time Stines will be back at that same courthouse. He made his initial appearance at a different courthouse, but he's back in the courthouse where this murder took place.
Surveillance video of the shooting was played during his court appearance in October. It does show Stines talking with Judge Kevin Mullins in his office, and then you can see that the shooting begins. A grand jury has formally indicted Stines on the charge of murder of a public official, but the indictment does not shed any new light on a possible motive for the shooting.
Let's go into the courtroom now in Kentucky. Shawn Stines is there to be arraigned.
Present with counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
And counsel, that is Jeremy Hartley and Terry Hartley. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, and also the Honorable Gene Cox as well, Your Honor.
Stines. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Well,
Thank you.
now, Commonwealth is represented this morning.
I'm sorry for the audio, y'all. That's not me.
Jackie still going.
Jackie Steele. And your co-counsel in this case
Is Miss Ramsey
is
down?
assigned to the Attorney General's office.
That's correct.
And that's Ramsey Dallin, and she is in trial elsewhere.
She is, I live in Green County. Your Honor.
Correct.
Yes.
Right, we are here this morning for arraignment purposes. All right, counsel, have you had the opportunity to review the indictment?
We have, Your Honor, we've taken a look at the indictment. We got an electronic copy, I believe, on Friday.
Yes. Do you desire to waive any of it,
We'll waive a formal reading and enter a not guilty plea at this time, Judge.
and you're satisfied that Mr. Stines is aware of his rights?
Yes,
And
Your
the
Honor.
nature and substance of his murder charge?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Yes. Judge, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the court. We've filed a notice to preserve all evidence, and I have no doubt that Mr. Steele will do that. We filed that down in district court. I just want to renew that, and I will file a written notice as well, Your Honor. And I would just ask the court to go ahead and enter a discovery order.
No objection to the preservation.
All right. And in terms of the discovery order, I understand that it is your intention to deliver discovery to defense counsel within 7 to 10 days.
That is correct, Your Honor. Ms. Dallin actually has that. We didn't know when the arraignment was going to be, and didn't have opportunity for me to get it from her.
Fantastic. That works for us, Judge.
All right. No entry of plea of not guilty. You will note, counsel, my original intention in this case was to review bond for purposes of issuing the warrant of arrest.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in this case, I went ahead and set a no bond.
Yes, sir.
Consistent with the district court's plan. After significant consideration, given the implications of Marcy's law, community safety concerns, security concerns, the fact that the defendant is in fact charged with a capital offense, together with provisions of Rule 402, paragraph 1, the defendant shall not be admitted to bond at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
That will be a matter of your observation. Anything else that would preliminary nature?
Oh, absolutely, Judge, and I believe that my understanding was that the court simply doesn't want to take up bond at this time, but we can still file an adversarial bond.
You have every right to file for an adversarial bond hearing. We can that without thinking more for the trial judge at this time. Anything else at this time?
No, Your Honor.
No, they're pretty confident.
I will ask that everyone be seated and remain seated until the defendant is escorted out of the court.
Sir, may we be excused for the court?
It's my understanding we'll go directly.
That is the sheriff, y'all. Man,
So they have to know
Yes, sir.
the man was the sheriff of Letcher County, of a county, and he
All
is
right, there it
now
is.
an inmate.
Arraignment, as always, quick. Entered a plea of not guilty and then escorted out of the courtroom where back in the day he was running security in that court.
He was running security in that courtroom, and now he is a part of the courtroom in a different way as an inmate. That's absolutely insane. There's so much more, but I just wanted to show the arraignment that he pled not guilty. First degree murder is what he's been accused of, and again, that is the actual charge that that's going against him is first degree murder. All right, not involuntary manslaughter or voluntary manslaughter, first degree murder. So, and he's pleading not guilty to that particular charge. The fact that he did it is not even a question. It's on video. It's literally him. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. So that's not the issue. The issue is, are they charging him correctly? And this is similar to what we talked about before in times past on this channel about the fact of about the YSL trial. Why did you implement the charge of RICO? They were trying to prove RICO and they could not prove it because that was the wrong charge. As a matter of fact, later on down the line in the trial, we discovered that Brian Steele discovered that they miscategorized the indictment. Okay. And there was a point in time of the trial with Judge Whitaker where she was correcting the indictment. Instead of making it a mistrial, she was correcting the indictment because it was in error by the state. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, when this go to the appellate court, we're gonna hear about that case again way down the line. I'm pretty sure of it. So this is the arraignment. He pled not guilty. This is going to trial. It is what it is. Boom. All right. Now, all of a sudden, we're about to get into the discovery of some stuff that has literally just took this to a whole different level. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Here we go.
New developments in the fatal shooting of a Kentucky judge are what's trending this morning in true crime, as recordings could tie the slain judge to a sex for favor scandal. Audio recordings were obtained by News Nation from a criminal investigation into a Letcher County deputy sheriff in an unrelated case. Sabrina Atkins is alleged to be a victim in that case, and she's the woman who's heard speaking to investigators while claiming that Judge Kevin Mullins was one part of a scheme to exchange sex for special treatment.
He does have some videotapes of some stuff in.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Sex for special treatment. All right. I want y'all to hear this, man. Sex for special treatment. I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, now let me speed up on this one. I'm gonna do 1.25. Hopefully it doesn't distort anything, but this is crazy. Sex for favors, man, by this judge. All right. And it's and we're just unpacking. We're unpacking. All right, here we go.
He does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, just him having sex with girls for the baby to get out there.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
With the judge and.
You saw the video.
Yeah.
What did you see in the video? I mean,
I've seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from him.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was the judge's chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
Now the motive and
Now Sabrina Atkins is one of the women who was involved in this sex for favors scandal with Ben Fields, we talked about, which is a former sheriff who is also in jail right now, I believe. She's saying that she saw the judge on video, okay, having sex with girls for them to get favors. Now, what kind of favors are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about, ankle monitors. We're talking about, all that kind of stuff, because you got to pay for that. It is not cheap being a criminal. It's not cheap being a criminal. You understand what I'm saying? When you go on probation or when you do all that kind of stuff, you paying for stuff. You have to pay for stuff. You gotta, and if you miss a payment, they have every right to do whatever is necessary as a punishment towards you. Okay. Now they will give you a certain amount of time to make your probation fees and stuff like that. You might have up to a year. If you're on year probation, you might have up to a year to pay your fees or whatever the case may be. and things like that. But there are some cases where when you on probation, parole, or whatever, you have to pay for certain things. An ankle monitor. They can't afford it. So the judge is like, you can't afford this. I will help you not have to afford it. And this lady blew the whistle on this entire thing about this whole Judge Mullins. All right, here we go.
Circumstances behind Mullins' death remain unclear this morning, but we're asking, how could the sex for favors accusation affect the sheriff's trial? Let's bring in our power panel. Still with me, prosecuting attorney Anton Bell, retired criminal defense attorney Kirk Nurmi, and want to welcome in private investigator, a retired Army Special Forces member, former NYPD officer Manuel Gomez. Manuel, would like to begin with you. Please, would you start off our conversation? Your thoughts on how these accusations could potentially affect the sheriff's upcoming trial?
Well, I think that these accusations are going to destroy his case, because the fact is that it actually gives a motive for him to shoot the judge. It's clear to me that the sheriff was acting in cohorts with the judge to facilitate this sex for bail and the sex for it to be let out of jail or to not wear an ankle bracelet. And this case is so disturbing because it just shows how weak the judicial system is. Where do people like this woman who was a victim go to report the crime when you have a sheriff's department and the judge's department corrupt? And this is why this case screams why we need an independent agency. We should not have no judicial branch governing itself. You can't check yourself, monitor yourself, investigate yourself, judge yourself, and punish yourself. We need an independent agency. And this case screams why we have to have one.
I hear you, Manuel.
Does he make a point? Does he make a point, y'all? Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit to what he said. Now, you are the sheriff who runs the security for this courthouse. Mickey, you mean to tell me you didn't know nothing, bro? You didn't know anything? You didn't know anything? Come on now. Come on now. This looks bad on you too. This is not just, although the judge is weird and he like Chill just said, I'm sorry, but that judge looked like he was doing something weird. I get it. But yo, he look a little creepy. All right, that's real talk. But you are the sheriff of that courthouse. You are the man that runs the security of that courthouse. You didn't have any idea that was going on. So what makes the judge look bad also makes the defendant look bad. But was that the actual motivation to kill him, or was the motivation the fact that the judge had the daughter in his phone? The judge had the sheriff's daughter in his phone. Okay. Now he talked about the independent agency being able to do stuff, to be able to be judge, jury, and executioner, I guess. Because how is it, and this is actually a good point, how is it that the court where this all went down at is so corrupt, that same court can judge its own corruption by the same law that they broke? The same law that they are not upholding, they can also judge it themselves. That's like you talk to yourself, you answer to yourself, and then you love yourself, and then you do everything for yourself. Really? No one could say anything? No one can do any type of accountability check on you or nothing. So the court is like, we're going to settle this on our own. We're going to do this ourselves. But it's your system, it's your law that you broke, and now you're going to try to judge it. You see? So he's making that point as well. And he makes a valid point. It's something to at least think about. All right. Let's go ahead and continue real quick.
Punish yourself. We need an independent agency. And this case screams why we have to have one.
I hear you, Manuel. Anton Bell, let me go to you next, please. Something that seems to be tricky about this, and this is like the kind of the big pink elephant in the room, so to speak, with this one, is that the sheriff's minor daughter has been mentioned as being some component to this. Investigators, prosecutors have not pinpointed exactly what role she plays in this big overall story, but we do know that We heard some things at the preliminary hearing about her contact information being in the judge's phone, the sheriff taking the judge's phone, being able to contact his daughter. We know that the attorneys have come right out and said, we're not denying this shooting. Yes, he shot him, but that this was a heat of passion crime, that this was his friend. Something came up.
See?
As a prosecutor, if you have a minor who may, and I'm saying may because we don't know if the sheriff's daughter is a victim in any way. We don't know. We don't have confirmation. If you do have a minor victim who is part of a story like this and a case like this, what things do you have to do as a prosecutor to safeguard that person's identity and also protect your prosecution and the integrity of it, Anton?
So whenever we are dealing with minors, and I have prosecuted many cases involving minors. Whenever we deal with a minor as a victim or a witness, we typically will use initials in any pleading, such as a motion or an indictment or even a warrant. We will make sure we will use some level of anonymity to make sure that we protect them. In addition to that, even if they are to testify, depending on their age in Virginia, we can actually have them do a two-way camera system where they will testify outside the presence of the jury and outside the presence of the defendant, so that it would reduce the intimidating factor or reduce the fear factor involved. However, in this particular case, it appears that there may have been some relationship between that judge and his daughter, which would explain why they're saying it was heat of passion, because they were supposed to be friends. They frequently ate lunch together. In fact, one article mentioned even the type of food that they would eat. So, and this sheriff used to be the judge's bailiff. So they had a long-term relationship, and it seemed like it was a personal relationship. So for him to shoot his friend, clearly something very intimate and very personal to him occurred. He found out some information, and clearly he retaliated based on that information, and he's probably not sharing because it is very close and dear to his heart.
That's another great point. Now watch this though. My man before him said something about the fact that it could hurt the sheriff case because of the fact that, you know, you were the bailiff. You knew what was going on. You had to have known at some point what was going on. However, let's think about it like this though. There was no actual evidence that this sheriff Stines did anything that was a part of that scandal physically, right? He's not on camera doing nothing sexual. He's married. He got a daughter. He got a family, the whole nine, right? But the fact that you turn your head away from what you know that's going on, then you're an accomplice. Then you're actually trying to be dismissive, but you are a part of the problem because you know that what's going on is wrong, and you did nothing to try to stop it. And you're supposed to uphold the law, even though the man is your friend, right? And since it ain't happening to nobody in my family, I'm gonna turn my head. But then when it happens close to home, he like, dude, and then he snaps. I agree with this too. Like, this looks more intimate to me. This doesn't look like I didn't want nobody to find out what I was doing in the judge's chambers or how I was helping the judge do his thing. So I'm gonna shoot him and kill him in his own chamber. And he's on camera. He knows the camera's there. He knows the camera's there. He knows. Complicity is the words that come to my mind. That's what's up. Yep. I totally feel that. He knew the camera was in that corner. He didn't care about getting caught or nothing. He didn't care about getting caught or nothing. He knew everything. And he did it anyway. So obviously he's not in his quote unquote right mind, for lack of better words, right? So the fact that this happened the way it did lets me know that this ain't just about I don't want nobody to say nothing, because truth be told, wasn't nobody saying nothing anyway. So this is one of those things that's like, okay, I hear you, first guy, but this passion point makes way more sense. All right.
Thank you for that analysis. That's exactly, I think, where everybody's minds are going with these new allegations from this woman. You have to wonder, who is the girl? We don't know. Could it be the minor daughter whose name has come up. Again, we don't know, but of course that is a valid question in this whole legal case. Kirk Nurmi, let me go to you, please. With this new component, when you hear that audio recording from that woman, she very clearly states a girl, says she sees the sheriff having sex with a girl, doesn't say a woman. She talks about female defendants and cases, and then says, I don't know who this girl was. Tell me, do you think in any way this could help the sheriff's case?
You know, it's possible. It depends on how the prosecutor looks at this, because really we think about this case and you think about, oh, this idea of manslaughter, this heat of passion, but it was also very a calculated kind of execution, right? It might have been motivated by passion. And here we have a police officer who is enforcing justice on his own, right? His sense of justice, which is kind of very antithetical to what our justice system stands for. So the prosecutor could look at it that way, or he could be empathetic to the sheriff. But really, when you're representing someone like the sheriff, you're going to want to collect all that information and really draw that correlation. So you hope the jury maybe will see things a different way here. But really, this sheriff's actions, even if it was his daughter, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm looking at this, he robbed his daughter of the chance to have the cathartic effect of testifying in court, which we just talked about, as well as having him in her life. So, you know, this is, to me, as I'm the prosecutor, I'm looking at this as kind of the, as a horrible crime, as an execution, and I'm punishing the sheriff to the fullest extent of the law.
I really appreciate that, Kirk. Anton Bell, I want to end the segment with some more comments from you, if I may, please. I know we're going to have to let you go and get off to court. Many people are talking about how investigators are being really tight-lipped in this one. We saw it in the prelim. I mean, the state called one witness. They did just what they had to do to get this case bound over and no more. And we know.
Just to piggyback real quick off Sapphire, that's the rumor that the girl she saw on video is the sheriff's daughter. Okay. That right there makes way more sense. Okay. That makes way more sense of what he has done, opposed to, man, I was the bailiff at this courthouse and I knew some freaky deaky stuff was going on. I ain't say nothing. I had my boy back by not saying nothing. Nah, this is way deeper than that, dog. This is the most, I agree with Tracy Talks when she said, this seems very complex. This is probably, and I would say nothing about this is clear cut when it comes to motive, because that's what separates first degree from like manslaughter. It's like the motivation. First degree is premeditated. Now he used the word calculated. Okay, calculated doesn't necessarily mean premeditated. All right, he doesn't mean premeditated necessarily. The motivation is what separates that. So if you are in this office, you on the phone, and you hear your daughter say something on the phone, on the judge's phone, okay, on the judge's phone, your homeboy as well, and she say something that make you go straight snappy, it's way deeper than just getting caught because some dudes was getting freaky in the chambers. First of all, let's be real. The court system and judgment, they always doing something illegal. Miss me with this. Everything about the court system screams nothing but debt collection, right? You know what I do, y'all. I always call it the debt collection agency. That's all the court system is. They always doing something illegal that you don't know about. They doing something nasty, illegal, stupid, dumb, criminal, all kind of stuff. They always doing something. So and that's the reason why the 11th Amendment is such an issue, especially in New York, because they're like, yo, these people have absolute immunity. You catch them red-handed, they still just walk off. They get disbarred. So what? They actually committed a crime. They don't get no charges or put on them at all. You know, that's what they was talking about in the prosecutorial misconduct video that I did on my channel. And if you got, that prosecutorial misconduct video was fire. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Somebody dropped the link for me. One of my mods dropped the link of that for me if you can. But I'm telling you, that right there is the separation, is the separator, the motive. You can calculate something in a way in real time. In real time, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna have lunch with him, I'm gonna do this and do that. But there's something that's going on. There's something that I know. There's something that I think I know. And let me try to dig deep up under it. Let me dig deeper to see if what I'm thinking is matching up. Then he goes all the way to the chambers after having lunch with him several hours before this happened. And then boom, he snapped. He snapped. This right here, Sapphire, I appreciate you, because this right here is this is the other thing that we discovered. And Sapphire is dead on, because she's they are covering the story as well. That I think all of this stems around the fact that his daughter was in this whole thing somehow, some way. This chamber, this Judge Chambers became like a baby brothel or something. It was absolutely great, because again, the year before in 2023, Ben Fields was doing some freaky diggy in the chambers for favors, and he got locked up. The judge didn't, though. Ain't that something? The judge never got locked up. Nothing about the judge came out until now. Unbelievable. Let's finish this out real quick. We're gonna get to the next video. A baby brothel, Tracy. Tracy, a baby brothel, an infant infidel situation going on inside the chambers. Okay, you're doing nasty things, man. You're out there being McNasty. You're ordering McNasty things on the menu in the chambers. All right, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. And to get, this is the crazy part, to get this type of crime on video in the judge's chambers, which to me was crazy anyway. Why the judge got video in his chambers? That's supposed to be, in the words of Judge Glanville, sacrosanct, right? That was ex parte. That's when you do the ex parte things, right? Oh, it was a parte. It was a parte, dog. It was a party, okay? Boom, 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 boom. I'd rather be with you, ooh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, yeah.
That there was so much discussion, so much curiosity with what in the world would cause this. Would you mind speaking to how the media plays in and the differences in how prosecutors can handle their case versus how a defense attorney, especially a private criminal defense attorney, could handle their case when it comes to talking with the media?
So when you are a prosecutor, you are limited as to what you can share concerning the case, because you have a duty not to prejudice any potential trial of fact, and that is potential jurors. So as a result of that, the ethics rule limits what type of pretrial statements that a prosecutor can make. The defense attorney can say whatever for the most part. They're very open because it's their client. However, prosecutors are very limited into what they can say to make sure we do not prejudice any potential juror pool.
Exactly. Different ethical considerations, different rules that prosecutors like you must follow, Anton. I think that's something that's really not.
All right. So we're going to move on to why, the whole point of why he did this in the first place. Look, this is absolutely insane. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy work. The original news station that discovered this is News Nation. I follow News Nation all the time. I ain't gonna lie. They be on it. I don't know who they know. I don't know what's up, like what their whole deal is, but I'm telling you, they have some connects that gives them some information so fast and so efficient. It's absolutely insane. This is pretty much where that came from, where this information came from. And so The audio recordings, they're on audio. What's that? What is audio? Evidence. Okay. What is it? It's evidence, man. You see what I'm saying? It is total evidence. So that is a part of discovery that the prosecution have to share with the defendants, with the defense attorney, with the defense counsel. They have to share that. And how they break that down, how they unpack that, and how they utilize this particular evidence is going to be very, very interesting. It's my heart's desire to go live on these trials, man. I'm telling you, I want to be live and watch these trials with you, because I'm telling you, this is absolutely crazy. All right. Court TV did a show, or did a I don't want to say special or per se, but Vinny Politan did a deeper dive into this whole thing, investigating this. And so we're going to take a look at that as well. But if you're enjoying this so far, put a one in the chat if you're enjoying this so far. This is absolutely crazy. You know, this is absolutely crazy. I could not wait. I could not wait to talk about this. The judge who was doing all this, I'm telling you, this has been unbelievable, because we already just saw, the world just saw a trial that went for pretty much over a year, 2 years, basically. The investigation for it been for over a decade almost, or whatever, or nearly a decade. And we found out that there was no evidence, no evidence of RICO at all, according to what the jurors believed. And I remember the lead attorney always talking about, when you let a trial go on too long, people tend to forget. They tend to space out into other things. They're not present anymore, because really you have wasted a lot, 403 wasted a lot of the time of the court. And in this particular instance, this is going to be very interesting, because you have a person who is a part of that system, who's going to be on the same trial basis like any other person. And I'm curious to see how the prosecution even takes care or handles this, because again, he worked for the county, the state. He was a sheriff. This is going to be very interesting to me. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into this real quick. Again, if you are just tuning in, welcome to Biz Nation. I'm your boy Tay Biz. We are here. We are covering the case and the story of the sheriff, Shawn Mickey Stines, who shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers on video. Now, the video has no sound, but it's on video, so we don't know what was said. And this particular case is where they're accusing him of murder by the first degree. He's pleading not guilty because of the motivation behind the actual shooting. This is absolutely this is like a once in a lifetime type of case, I believe, because never have I heard of a sheriff and a sheriff doing any harm to a judge or any type of public figure at all. All right. Tracy saying one in the chat, and April Neal's baby daddy. Oh man, I love that. Put a one in the chat, Sapphire. Put a one in the chat. Appreciate you. Is that Shy Digger? Shy Diggy. I'm sorry, Shy Diggy. What up, though? Welcome to Biz Nation. I hope you enjoying this real quick. Hope you enjoying this. Okay, KP said he had an important call. No problem, brother. No problem at all. No problem. Listen, let's go ahead and get into this. We're about to get into the whole question of, why did the sheriff shoot the judge? Why? Why did Shawn Mickey Stines shoot the judge? And listen, not only the judge was his friend. He broke bread with him. He had him at the house. He had him at the cookout. He let him use his car to pick up his side piece. You know what I'm saying? They went out together. You know what I'm saying? They had a little bourbon together. You know what I'm saying? They was probably shooting pool, throwing frisbees. I don't know what kind of friends they were, but apparently they was cool. They had lunch before he shot him. They had lunch together, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they had, but I can imagine Shawn Mickey Stines probably had a slice of pizza, you know, a meat lover. You feel me? A all meats pizza with extra mozzarella and a little gabagool. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Kevin Mullins, with his creepy face, he had something like raw calamari with sashimi or something. I don't know. He just looked weird. He looked like he into that weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, and put some soy sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? He put some soy sauce on it, and that made it cook. The salt in it made it preserve itself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I could just imagine. I can just imagine. You know what I mean? So at this point, they breaking bread. Everything is cool. You feel me? Then all of a sudden, in the back of Shawn Mickey Stein's mind, he like, hey, bro, I got some questions to ask you, man, but I want to do this privately because if I do this right now, I'm liable to snap. But he held his composure the whole time, you know, with the all meats. And I'm pretty sure that all meats pizza came with some bread, garlic bread, toast, you know, some extra marinara. You know what I'm saying? He looked like an extra marinara type of brother. You know what I mean? Probably had some pretzel cheese or something, you know, as an appetizer. You know, he was, you know, hey, carbohydrates. You feel me? And all of a sudden, they leave the restaurant, and they go to the chambers, and he says, he lay it all on the line. All right, now we done had breakfast. I mean, lunch, dinner, whatever. We done had lunch. Hey, bruh. You feel me? So all of this is going on in the mind of this guy, man. You feel me? I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, this is very interesting. So this right here, we're going to see what Vinny who was a legend, by the way. Let's see what the legend Vinny got to say, man. Let's go. Let's get into this.
My investigation is the shocking shooting of a Kentucky judge in his chambers. It was all caught on camera, and the man holding the gun, the local sheriff. Here's the story. Whitesburg, Kentucky is a small rural community of under 2,000 residents in eastern Kentucky. It's the kind of place where everyone knows each other, a place where many folks have both personal and professional connections. And that was the situation with the local sheriff, Shawn Mickey Stines, and the only judge in town, Kevin Mullins. Both of them with great reputations, known especially for their work in trying to help their community battle the opioid epidemic, which was taking so many lives and destroying so many families. On September 19th, the judge and the sheriff grabbed lunch together with some other people. Later that afternoon, the sheriff...
Did that say street side? I knew he had some pizza. Look at that. Street side grill. You know they selling pizza at the grill and bar. You gotta have bread when you're drinking. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. Oh, shout out to KP. KP had a great call and said my loan went through. New truck coming soon, and I can get back to work after month. Let's go, KP. Shout out to K. Let's drop some bombs. Let's drop a little bomb. Let's drop a little bomb. Let's drop a little bomb. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's show, man. Congratulations. I want to say that. It's good to see a brother doing the same, man. It's always good to see a brother doing the same, man. Let's go. That's what's up. Let's go.
19th, the judge and the sheriff grabbed lunch together with some other people. Later that afternoon, the sheriff headed over to the judge's chambers. Once he got there, he went into the judge's office for a closed-door private meeting. What happened next, no one in this small town expected. The sheriff fired his gun several times, taking the life of Judge Mullins in his own chambers. But this was not the first crime to occur in the judge's chambers. It was also the site of a sextortion scandal where the sheriff's bailiff was prosecuted for extorting sex from female detainees in exchange for not having to pay for ankle monitoring services.
Do you hear this? Do you hear this filth? This is the court system that they want us to believe in, to have faith in. Sure. In the words of what's the old girl name from the YSL trial? Hilton. Sure. Sure.
These criminal actions took place in the judge's chambers and bathroom after hours. So now, with Sheriff Mickey Stines charged with the first-degree murder of the judge after this sextortion scandal, everyone is wondering what is going on in this small Kentucky town.
So the other part of all of this, part of the backdrop is that sextortion scandal was now manifesting itself in a federal civil lawsuit. And as part of that, the sheriff himself was being deposed and was one of the defendants in the case. Obviously, the bailiff was under his supervision. He's in charge. He's the sheriff, for goodness sake. So all of this kind of plays in the backdrop of what's going on, right? Small town. How could these two things happen in the same place? I want you to take a listen to the sheriff's defense attorney, Jeremy Bartley, here, talking about and asking if there is any connection here.
Do you know whether this is connected to the federal lawsuit you was a part of? Is there any connection between these?
I think that the timing of what occurred is certainly something that is going to be a crucial point in this case. The timing of the deposition, amongst other things and other background information that will complete that story. But I do, yes, to answer your question, I do believe that is a piece. This is a large story. That's a story that in some ways is difficult to tell. We look forward to sharing a more complete version of that as we go through this judicial process.
Oh, okay. Hold on now. I got a question for the chat. Who thinks that him shooting the judge has any connection with the sextortion scandal that the judge was doing? Put a 1 if you think it has something to do with it. Put a 2 if you think it has something to do with his daughter alone, and that's it. Like that was the only motivation, had nothing to do with any connection of a scandal. Put a 2 if it's just the daughter and what he discovered on the phone, or put a 1 if you think it's a little bit of both. I'm curious of what you're thinking. Sapphire says something that the daughter said when she answered the phone thinking the judge was calling. She probably picked up the phone like, hey, baby, hey, boo. And daddy like, who the hell you calling? Pow, pow, pow. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. KP said it like I'm 1.5. I'm 1.5, dog. I'm 1.5. Oh, Sapphire said it got a little bit of both. Okay. Chill like a little bit of both. All right. You was undecided, bro. He like, look, it's a little bit of both, and it's not a little bit of both. Okay. It's a little bit here. I don't know. FFS 2.0 is in the building. What up, though? One of the faithfuls. Man. One of it said both definitely 1.5. Okay, so you think it's both. So you all think it's conflated. It's conflated. It's mixed together. Okay. All right. Now the question is, do you think that was the motive? Do you think the video shows that was the motivation for him doing the shooting? Because see, on video, it shows him using the judge's phone, and it shows him shooting the judge after just that. All right. This whole thing about the scandal and stuff, like this attorney said, the timing of it, it's biting us in the ass right now. It's basically what he's saying. Like the timing of this whole thing, it really ain't good for this case. Like my man said before, because now you have to disprove something, which really the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So you don't want to get into that sparring match when it comes to who has to prove what. If you're a defense attorney, make the state sweat to see if they can prove, you know what I'm saying, their burden of proof of the case. So this is very, very, very interesting, man. But I see that, you know, the mix between the two, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Let's continue. Let's continue on.
And he's so right on. There is a piece that is just missing. There's a piece missing. But you heard what he said, that he believes it's all connected. as far including other pieces. So this scandal where female detainees are being extorted for sex is somehow connected to the shooting of the judge. Well, that all brings us to my first question in this investigation. Was the judge involved somehow in this whole scandal that was taking place before he was shot? The other crime and criminal conduct that was taking place in his chambers, where these women are being extorted for sex. Joining me to help answer all of this, the attorney representing the woman suing the sheriff, Ned Pillersdorf, is with us, and psychotherapist and CEO of Life Counseling Solutions, Dr. Janie Lacey. Thank you both. Before we get to any of this, I want to play something, and this is an audio recording about this whole scandal. I'm talking about the extortion of sex scandal that is taking place. A female speaker, a male speaker. Let's listen first.
He does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, just him having sex with girls for the able to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
The judge and.
And you saw the video?
Yeah.
What did you see on the video? I mean,
I've seen Judge Long having sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from our.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was the judge's chambers? And this was Judge who?
Okay, everyone's jaws just dropped. Ned, let me begin with you.
He said it was Judge Hugh. It was Judge Hugh Mullins, not Muffins, Mullins. All right, the judge that has been shot by his not just colleague and bailiff and officer of the law, by his friend. Okay, this is a great point right here. Imagine the sheriff leading investigation on the judge, which is a good friend of his, then finding the daughter number in the judge's phone. You dog, bruh. I got homie. I'm a man that I have a small circle of people that I trust. That's close to me. Very small circle of people. I am not one of those guys that have like a massive amount of friends. All right. Not a massive amount. I have good and my definition of friend is not just I know you. I know your name and I know of you. And that's me knowing of you don't make you my friend. You someone that I know. I know of you. You someone that I know. I know a lot of people. And a lot of people that I may know, they may not even know me like that. But I got a hand of friends, a circle of friends, right? That's like my roots, my root brothers, right? And here it is. I've been breaking bread with this dude all this time, my whole life, everything good. But 20 plus 30-year friendship, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, he got my daughter's name in his phone, saved as Sylvia, Teresa, Big Shirley, to psych me out. Who Big Shirley, dog? We hanging out, and I see Sylvia name come up. No, this is some chick I know, bro. What up, and I'm with him, and he's talking to my daughter. Think about that, bro. And then I find out about it, or I find out a little bit of information, like something sneaky happens. And then all of a sudden, I got enough information to confront my friend, and he admits, and my daughter's 14 years old, 13 years old. Come on, man. 15? Come on now. You just don't know what you would do in situations like that. That's the reason why you shouldn't judge nobody. That's the reason why you should not put yourself above others, because you are subservient to the same behavior. You are susceptible to the same emotion. You're not a different type of human. You're not a cyborg. You feel me? No. God styled you a certain way. Whether you want to believe in him or not, doesn't even matter. You are styled a certain way, wired a certain way. You talking about a good friend of yours, a brother, a sister that you've been knowing, that you've been in the trenches with. Then all of it, you know all they dirt. They know all your dirt and everything. They cover you with love like you cover them with love. Then all of a sudden they have been violating. They have been putting hands gross, nasty, ugly hands on your children, on your daughter. Bruh, you don't I have no idea how I would respond. I know it ain't gonna be good though. Shawn, Mickey Stines on the news. I'm on the news too. I'm on the news. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm on the news. Not because I'm a philanthropist. No. I'm on the news for a whole different reason, dog. There is no way in the world you can tell me you can sustain your emotions when you discover something like that. You discover something like that. Your homegirl you've been hanging out with, your homegirl that's been she your sorority sister, she your Sue or whatever she is, right? And she been having some Stella got your groove back moments with your 14-year-old son. You mean to tell me you ain't gonna have no words for sister girl? Come on now. Come on now. Hey, don't make me don't make me go here. When I go here, it's serious, okay? When we get to this point, okay, listen to me. You gonna snap, dog. You are going to snap, and you have no idea how you gonna snap.
What is the context of this recording that we just listened to?
The context was we had initially filed the civil rights lawsuit on behalf of Sabrina. The Ben she is talking about is Ben Fields, who would eventually plead guilty to what you call sextortion. He was the bailiff who was extorting Sabrina and other women for sexual favors, taking advantage of their ankle bracelets.
Hold on, I'm sorry about this, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me go back a little bit. This is a great point here. Says the Sheriff Mickey replaced the Ben Sheriff. Exactly. Ben Fields is in jail, I believe, to this day. In the same county, Mickey was fairly new versus the prior sheriff. The prior sheriff was there for some years, a couple of decades, possibly. Okay, that's great. That's great. All right, that's great. So, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe he did not know all the baby brothel stuff that was going on up in that boy, man. Oh, man. Even look at Tracy said, all bets are off. I don't have children, but my nephews are everything. I'll turn the earth upside down. That is a black woman saying this. Black woman saying this. Oh, I know it's facts. Can't nobody tell me about women and children. Women have an attachment to children that's beyond men's comprehension. Actually, look at that. Sorry, I'm behind. It's okay. No, you good, Amber. You good, Amber? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about being behind. It's all good. All good. Let's go.
Of this recording that we just listened to.
The context was we had initially filed the civil rights lawsuit on behalf of Sabrina. The Ben she is talking about is Ben Fields, who would eventually plead guilty to what you call sextortion. He was the bailiff who was extorting Sabrina and other women for sexual favors, taking advantage of their ankle bracelet situation. This audio you played, I was actually there. What happened was after we filed the lawsuit and before Fields was charged with the crime, the Attorney General's office made an appointment to come to my hometown of Prestonsburg. And
okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to stop. I have not seen this whole thing. What? I have not seen this. This is, again, we always do these raw live reactions right here, dog. I'm telling you, for some reason I stumbled across some good stuff. This right here, my man said he was actually there. I'm sorry, we gotta go back. Let's go.
The context was we had initially filed the civil rights lawsuit on behalf of Sabrina. The Ben she is talking about is Ben Fields, who would eventually plead guilty to what you call sextortion. He was the bailiff who was extorting Sabrina and other women for sexual favors, taking advantage of their ankle bracelet situation. This audio you played, I was actually there. What happened was after we filed the lawsuit and before Fields was charged with the crime, the Attorney General's office made an appointment to come to my hometown of Prestonsburg and interview Sabrina. And what it is, Vinny, is called a proffer. And it's important to understand what a proffer is. A proffer is when the prosecution wants to find out every information they can find out. They ask all sorts of open-ended questions. Proffers are different from what's in a courtroom where you're only allowed to talk about what you think is admissible evidence. A typical proffer is tell us every rumor you've heard, tell us every double, triple, quadruple hearsay, tell us your speculation. So it's important for those talking about this release of this audio. First of all, we did not release it. As I understand from our friends in the media, the criminal case against Ben Fields is over because of the prosecution believing Sabrina. They indicted Mr. Fields, and he eventually pled guilty to basically every charge brought against him. So that's a done deal. So I think what happened is the reason this tape got released, we have an open records law in Kentucky, which is a good law. And media organizations contacted the original investigator whose voice you heard in the tape. And that was part of a proffer that I sat in. After the proffer, the Attorney General's office, and I've had my differences with them over the past, but I give them high marks. They went forward and indicted a popular local figure, the bailiff, Ben Fields, who's referred to. They prosecuted him. They secured guilty pleas, guilty verdicts, and time in jail. So that's the context of how this video got out there.
Shut up. Mrs. Fields been baking all them cookies and giving it to Ben, and Ben tried to get his own cookies and not landed himself in jail. This is absolutely insane. Check this out. Plus the judge, one other person, and a pastor of a church. All three went in on a rehab facility also. So there is all kind of funny business going on. This county is nasty. This county needs some bleach. We need to bleach. We need to sanitize this entire county, man. This is ugly work. Everybody just put nasty work in the chat. Everybody put nasty work in the chat. I am disgusted, man. Listen to me. Mrs. Fields, get your son Ben been all up in some cookies. All right. Y'all need to stop this mess. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely nasty work, dog. This is nasty, ugly work right here. Unbelievable. Not the man of God. The man of God. Jeez. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there, dog. This is nasty, dog. Let's go.
But I want to be clear. We're not publicizing the video, I should say the audio. And I just want to be clear for your viewers that was released by the Attorney General's office, and I'm not critical of them either. They have to deal with the open records law, which has consequences when you don't comply. So that was the context of how my client gave the statement. Is it related, unrelated to the civil case? I don't want to speculate. And is it related or unrelated to the eventual shooting? That's a speculation. My civil case is pending. And in fairness to the defendants, they deny the allegations. I think the only thing undeniable at this point is Fields did plead guilty to the criminal case. Just putting that all in context.
Dr. Jenny Lacey, this is difficult stuff when you are extorted for sex and you become a victim. And we know she was a victim. Her perpetrator was prosecuted, as Ned has pointed out. And now she's providing information. What are the issues that someone who's been through that kind of trauma? And again, the big concern here is getting to the truth. I'm not saying she's not telling the truth. I'm not saying she is telling the truth. She's making a proffer. I would presume she wouldn't want to lie about anything. Give us some perspective from the viewpoint of the victim, providing this is explosive type of information. Talking about a judge, a sitting judge doing this. And she said she witnessed it on a video.
You see this man's face? I can't, this picture is just, it screams creep. Listen to me. Amber Dawn, girl, listen. Way big. This bro is way bigger than sextortion with defendant. It's a whole racket. Oh man, it's a racket. It's a racket. It gotta be when you involved in the pastor is involved. It has to be something bigger than just. Listen. I hate to listen. Cat done caught up, y'all. Cat done caught up. Listen. I don't like the judge either. I'm like I'm like really like not judgmental at all, seriously. But this dude, this dude right here, look at that. Look at his face. Let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. Would you leave your children around this dude? Seriously. Some of this ain't judgment. Some of this is just good old-fashioned discernment. Like, this is just common sense. A man that look like this is not gonna babysit my kids or be around them. Oh my goodness. It's not unrealistic for the sheriff to be believable when he says they're trying to kidnap my family. Thank you. I mentioned that earlier in this. We went live about this before, and we talked about the fact that he said that they're trying to kidnap my kid. This is making sense to me now, because you're coming into the realization that my guy know the deal on me. It's not unrealistic for the sheriff to be believable when he says they're trying to kidnap my family. State new Sheriff Mickey was still investigating and found out some hardcore evidence. This makes so much sense. You involve when there's so many different sectors of society involved in something, you gotta really look at that deeply. And let me you mean to tell me here it is a political somebody going for re-election for their position in a county of a city, and you see pastors, you see all kind of teachers, all kind of people there, principals, whatever. You mean to tell me they just dare to support because they believe in everything that the person say, or are they there to support because they know some favors is gonna come their way? Go, man. Amber Dunn, them Johnsons done messed your boy up tonight, dog. I'm messed up right now in the brain, man. Yes, that's facts. Yes, that's facts. They do have the daughter. Yeah, that's facts. This is crazy. Cat Williams said, especially small town, one judge, like odds are stacked against you if they're plotting on you. For sure. Absolutely. And thank you. The last part is that why a camera was placed in chambers? Why do you think there was a camera in judge chambers already? I mean, exactly, because that lady Sabrina blew the whistle. The first thing I said a few videos back, and I don't know if you guys want to dive into my channel. If you go into my channel, I went live about this, and I kept asking I kept saying, why? How is it that a judge in his chambers has a whole camera in there? That lets me know right off rip something ain't right. Right off rip, that let me know something ain't right. That let me know something ain't right. The fact that you have to be monitored, or you're monitoring something, or whatever the case may be, lets me know something ain't right. I have been saying that since the beginning of this particular case here. Right, there's no sound to the video. You don't know what Mickey, his nickname is Mickey, but Mr. Shawn Stines, you don't know what he said. You don't know what the judge is saying, but you do see mannerisms. And how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet an expert witness on body language is going to be on the stand? How much you want to bet? I'm taking bets right now, dog. You can cover the spread. You can go money line. I don't care how you do it. Over, under, it don't matter. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that there is going to be an expert witness in body language on the stand of this trial? I don't think this trial gonna be long either. It might be what, a week, maybe. Give it 2 weeks. Man, look, I don't put nothing past nobody, man. Somebody gonna go up there and be like, well, according to the way his body looks, it looks like Shawn Stines said blah, 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 blah. And this, that, and the third. Oh, Tracy said, can we take the creeps? My bad, y'all. It is dead locked on my man right here. It is dead locked. My bad, y'all. Let's go. But yo, this is crazy work, man. This is crazy work. Sapphire said, I'm out. Thanks for covering this, David. No problem at all. No problem at all. Hey, anytime. Anytime. Come on through. Everybody put Sapphire in the chat. Say bye to her. Let her know that we still in the building. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it, y'all. This is crazy.
Well, you said it, Vinny. It's an explosive situation, and the victim in this case, especially when we're dealing with power positions, that people that hold significant authority over a victim, especially in these situations, right? So we're looking at a lot of fear. There's a lot of risk that's involved because of potential consequences that the person can fear depending on these power positions and what she knows, and being able to come forward, to be able to save and to help probably the other potential victims that would be involved. We know the weight that victim would be carrying and that great amount of telling the truth and telling her truth, because there's going to be a lot of implications, especially for someone who's in the system, right? They know the risk that's involved when you're coming up against these power positions, especially in the small town where, the fine line between someone's professional life and their personal life can get blurred very quickly. And we do know the mindset of someone that has a lack of integrity and a lack of ethics in their personal life can bleed over into their professional life. And then you get the groupthink if there's multiple people that are aware of these situations, and the silence and enabling behavior. So it creates this whole system that a victim would have to come up and speak against. So the great fear and potential consequences that could be weighing heavily on her is real.
Dr. Jenny Lacey, thank you so much for your analysis. Ned's going to stay with us. Coming up next, is the shooting connected to the sextortion scandal?
I say that the sheriff Stines is involved. I don't know.
We believe we're standing right where this case should be, a few feet from where this case should be tried, right here amongst Mickey Stines' peers.
As the attorney for Sheriff Mickey Stines, is now the former Sheriff Mickey Stines, talking about where he wants the murder trial to be, right where the shooting took place. And we know it took place there because we saw it all on video, right? So before this murder case, the sheriff had another legal case he was dealing with. As a matter of fact, he'd been deposed earlier that same week. It was a case involving sextortion, where female detainees who didn't want to pay for their ankle monitor or couldn't pay for their ankle monitors were extorted into having sex with the bailiff and in exchange for not having to pay for the ankle monitor so they could be free and not locked up in jail. So an audio recording of one of these victims of this scandal was interviewed by the Attorney General's office. We've gotten those recordings. This is one of the victims talking about seeing videos of more conduct like this. Take a listen.
But you saw the video of the judge. Any other video that you actually saw?
No. I say that the sheriff Stines is involved. I don't know.
Who said that?
Chad, I said he had videos with Mickey. Mickey used to do the same thing when he was over house arrest.
Mickey is the sheriff. Now, the sheriff apparently used to be the bailiff before he became sheriff. At one point, he's the bailiff for that same judge. What's going on here? What is it? These are, I guess, what she heard. She didn't witness this. But how does this all play with one another? Brings me to my next question in our investigation.
Okay, before he gets to his next question, is it possible that they knew that Mickey was one of those like uphold the law type sheriffs? I'm just throwing this out there. Let's say he was that. Let's say he was the type of guy that's like uphold the law, by the book, everything. You think they was able to, do you think he was blinded to a lot of this? Or, but at the same time, he became the sheriff only because the previous sheriff was, in some heap of trouble. So the fact that, yeah, exactly. The sheriff was the bailiff. Exactly. So it wasn't, I'm trying to figure out how long he was a bailiff. Right. Like how long he was a bailiff. Because apparently this had been going on for quite some time. And he became there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Mickey Stines, right? And now he's the sheriff after this whole thing with Ben Fields unfolds. So the fact that, and I agree with what Amber said in the chat about the fact that this particular part of this whole thing is not in the forefront is already like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Kind of crazy. Amber says, being a sheriff of small town, he would be acting bailiff during his tenure as sheriff. You know. Oh, Tracy Salk said, careful, this is getting close to a RICO. All that's missing is the money part, and we might get to that too. We might get to that too. So again, you know, Vinny, the legend, Palatine, right? The legend. He's asking some good questions. You know what I'm saying? He's asking a good question, and nobody about to get into the second question he's asking about this case. But this is so like complex, man. There are so many loopholes to this because this whole thing has a racketeer, like whole thing, a connotation to it. So this is very, it seems like very orchestrated a certain way. It's very, you know, it has all of that going on. It has all of that going on. And so now it seems like the new guy or the new sheriff in town or whatever seems like he's discovering some things. And so much so to the point where he uses the judge's phone to say, hey, man, I want to make a phone call. I want to make sure that you're not doing what I think you're doing. And that's the case. So much so to the point where he answered the phone, where he had the phone, she answered the phone, and whatever she said made him snap. Then he said, while he was getting arrested, they're trying to kidnap my family. We talked about this already before. Now we unpacking more of this. Let's go.
Which is the shooting connected to the sextortion scandal?
Is it?
Are these two things that all seemingly took place in the same place? Are they connected? Still with us, Ned Pillersdorf, who's representing that victim in the civil suit, and joining me, Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who's been on this story from the beginning and spent time in Kentucky investigating for us. Let me play this from Detective Clayton Stamper from Kentucky State Police, talking about the actual, what's taking place in the chambers before the shooting.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior to the clip that we saw?
Sheriff Stines just uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullen's cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
There is a point in
You hear what he said? Come on now. Mickey Stines grabbed the phone and make some phone calls. Then he grabbed the judge's phone, made some phone calls, and then it led to that. And it led to that. Okay? Shout out to you, Tay Biz, putting it out to the public, doing a great and mandatory public service. Thank you for that. Nope. Hey, I appreciate you, Amber Dawn. You don't understand how much that means to me. Thank you so much. Thank you just for the love and support. I appreciate it. Joe Worthy in the building said, there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Reggie Hammond. I need to get my hat and my toothpick and do the little dip. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. So good question. The question is, how much of this are they going to allow into evidence? Now, according to the arraignment, whatever the prosecution all their discovery is going to go over to the defense. That's what the prosecution said. Okay. But they say a lot of things. So look, you know, it is what it is, but that's what they said, that anything that's in discovery, they will turn it over to the defense. Okay. So there you go. My man KP listening. KP got his listening ears on for a show. He always do. Said, hey, it led to that. When he used a key word, I keep saying, words matter, man. Words matter. He said he grabbed the judge's phone, made a phone call, and it led to that, to what you just saw. That's exactly what that man said. It led to that. That's on record. That's on the transcript. Let's go.
Appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
There is a point when Sheriff Stines asked for to see the telephone of Judge Mullins.
Yes.
Are you aware of any recent content that was up and could have been relevant at the time of their discussion?
I was told that Sheriff Stines had tried to call his daughter, and he tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
What did we talk about the last live? What did we say that? He called his daughter, he called from the judge's phone. So that means, peep this. So peep this. You called your daughter from your phone and you got a response that only daddy should get. Okay? Then the judge's phone, you grabbed his phone and you heard something different and it led to what you just saw. That is absolutely two different things. Now, again, we talked about something being calculated, not necessarily something being premeditated. See? Oh my goodness, man. Let's get it in. Okay? Think about that, bro. Think about that. First phone call is from my phone. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Hey. No, I'm having a smoothie, a Go-Gurt, or whatever that she having. You know what I'm saying? And then from the judge's phone, hey. Hey. And he grabbed. What? And now he gone. You never know. Cat Not Williams still here talking. Cat Not Williams in the building, y'all. She said not a Go-Gurt, a Go-Gurt, man. You know what I'm saying? She probably had a Go-Gurt. You know, it's a nice treat. It's refreshing. All right, let's go.
Officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of pieces here, and I want to begin with you, Cody. All these different pieces, everyone's trying to get to the understanding why, but trying to figure out if this extortion is connected to the shooting, we have to look at the other things that we know. These calls are one of the things that we know about. We also know about some statements he made. Let's talk about those. What are those different pieces that we actually know?
So you hit the nail right on the head there, Vinny. Of course, we just heard he tried to call his daughter from Judge Mullins' phone, and it actually came out, we were under the impression after that hearing that the number of his daughter was saved in Judge Mullins' phone, but according to the local paper, the Mountain Eagle, the number was just dialed on Judge Mullins' phone. But when he got arrested, Sheriff Stines, his first statement to police was, they're trying to take my wife and kid, which is a direct correlation. Tried to call his daughter directly before the shooting happened in those chambers, and then he sat around at the courthouse outside of his chambers, waited to turn himself in, and then the first thing out of his mouth is that they're trying to take my wife and kid. So the burning question here is why. They were just at lunch beforehand. They'd worked together for over a decade. What could have led to this, and why was it so important to call his daughter in that moment?
Ned, we're trying to put the pieces together. You've got this civil suit, which is connected to this extortion to a certain extent, right? But not necessarily connected to the shooting. But his lawyer is saying there is some connection here. From your perspective, what are you gathering as you try to put these pieces together between this scandal? How deep do you suspect the scandal goes? Does it go beyond this deputy, and could it have something to do with the actual shooting?
The best way to answer the question is the clip you filed of the defense lawyer. Former Sheriff Stines is well represented, very good lawyer. And the first question you would ask your client, why did you do this? He knows what Sheriff Stines told him. The video clip you showed seems to indicate that, yes, it is tied to my civil case. I don't know the answer to that. I do think the really interesting point is, Vinny, Sheriff Stines does not want to change a venue. Think about that logically. If a random person who, for whatever reason, shot the judge, usually when it happens, it's usually a domestic violence. Somebody's irate. The last place that random person would want to be tried would be in a small county where everybody knew a popular local judge. That person would want to change a venue. It's astonishing in this case, not only to Mr. Bartley, who is a well-regarded lawyer. He said two things. One, he said it was related to my civil case. Two, he said, I don't want to change a venue, which tells me there's some sort of almost jury nullification defense brewing out there. I'm hesitant to speculate on that.
Sure, and Ned, I just want people to know you're in the midst of a civil case, and you have certain obligations and restrictions on what you can say. So I think we all understand that. But go ahead, complete your thought.
You know, my thought really, as a criminal defense lawyer, I've only been a criminal defense lawyer in Appalachia for 43 years. I think there is some sort of jury nullification defense. Self-defense is not in the cards, obviously. Him tying it to the civil case I filed. And the civil case I filed, it's a civil case. This is our side, not the other side denies it. Makes some sweeping allegations that there was this toxic mixture of sex and extortion in the courthouse. My client was forced to have oral sex and sexual intercourse in the judge's chambers. And we sued Judge Stines on the theory that he knew or should have known this was going on. And it wasn't just one lady. We know of at least three.
At least three. Let's do this, Ned. Let's continue our conversation in just a moment. Coming up, why?
It was at least three. Good Lord, man.
Is there a camera in the judge's chambers?
Oh, we about to get into it. We about to get into it now. Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to get into it, okay? Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to get into it. Now we about to find out why there was a camera in the judge's chambers. Let's get it in, y'all. Let's get it in.
I'm Benny Baladan. We continue our investigation of the shooting of Kentucky Judge Kevin Mullins by Sheriff Mickey Stines. It's a story that raises a lot of questions, but the biggest one is why? Here's the story.
Appalachia is the part of eastern Kentucky where the towns are small and folks look out for each other. There's a lot of respect for law enforcement and the justice system. And folks who work in that system get to know each other pretty well. Such is the case for the local sheriff Mickey Stines and his friend, District Judge Kevin Mullins. But like any place, sometimes there is controversy. In Letcher County, it was a deputy who got caught sexually assaulting female detainees in the judge's chambers. That was a couple of years ago, but now everyone's taking another look at that case because something else happened in the judge's chambers. The judge was shot and killed, and the local sheriff is the one being charged.
Come on now.
The judge.
Come on, look at them eyebrows, man. You can't trust them. You can't trust these eyebrows. I mean, I ain't trying to judge. But you can't trust these eyebrows. No. Nope.
Was shot and killed, and the local sheriff is the one being charged. Sheriff Mickey Stines is now charged with first-degree murder of a public official for an act that was all caught on camera.
Caught on camera. Amazingly, this was caught on camera. So I'm going to give you the warning I always give you every time we show the video. We're going to go through the video. We'll freeze it at the moments that the weapon is fired, and we'll blur the judge after he gets shot, so you don't have to worry about that. But still, it is incredibly shocking to watch this take place. What you're looking at is the shooting and killing of a judge in his own chambers. So let's begin. There's no audio, but you can see the judge putting up his hand. He's smoking a cigarette. Whoa, wait. And then the first shot is fired. But the sheriff now goes around as the judge is trying to get some sense of cover. He's still alive, approaches him and fires the gun again. And now the sheriff is about to leave, but you see the desk is moving. That's because the judge is still alive, and the sheriff notices it and fires the weapon again, and then leaves. And as you watch this, you can see that they're having a conversation, and the judge has to be completely shocked that this is taking place, that he's pointing the gun at me. And now,
you know what? I would love to see the moments prior to that, even that little piece right there where they first get started and he's waving his hand like that. I want to see like before that. I would love to see as they walk into the room, because it's all recorded. It's all recorded because the video is in the chambers because they was on nasty time over there. They was on McNasty. All right. And now I want to see when he walked in, how they walked in, the whole night, all the body language stuff. I want to see all of it. Since there's no audio, I want to see all of it.
I was going to fire it. But we pointed out, the whole thing's on video. There's not audio, but there's video. Which brings us to the next question in our investigation. Why is there a camera in the judge's chambers? It's almost as if like this is a reality show or something where, all right, let's set it up. Here's a good place. This is where you sit. This is where you're going. Like everything is caught on camera, but it's the judge's chambers. Joining me to help answer this question, the attorney representing the woman suing the sheriff, Ned Pillersdorf, is with us, and he presided over the Anna Nicole Smith body custody case. Retired Judge Larry Seidlin is back with us as well. Judge, I want to begin with you for some context here. Okay, I've been in some chambers. My father was a federal judge. There was no camera in there. How unusual or shocking is it to you as a judge that there's a camera in the judge's chambers?
Well, it's pretty, Vinny, it's pretty perverse for him to have a camera in his chambers. There's an inkling here, an inclination that maybe he was having sex in his chambers and wanted to film it. I mean, I had a TV set in my chambers. I had a little crib for my daughter because she was born towards the end of my judicial career when I was about 50. She came in. We made like a playpen in the chambers, but no cameras, because a camera, you want to safeguard your position in the chambers, the judge does. You want to sort of isolate yourself. It's the one place where you can blow off steam. So you don't want to be on camera. You want to be off camera. Now, during the big case you were watching over me, the Anna Nicole case, I would bring the parties into my chambers and try to mediate, try to wrestle them a little bit to try to settle the case. So I never wanted a camera in my courtroom, in my chambers, and I never wanted a court reporter there either. It would violate the confidentiality of what I wanted to achieve.
Oh, you mean the sacrosanct chambers? Shout out to Glanville. To be honest, Glanville chambers need cameras. That's facts. He said, how did you get that information? That's a violation of the sacrosanctity of the court. Man, you lying. Boy, don't get me started with Glanville, man. All right, man. The judge looks like he was apologizing now, Conrad. Yeah, exactly. Let's go, y'all.
I understand 1,000%. Like, this is where if you're gonna try to settle a case, you bring people in. Things happen in chambers. It doesn't have to be like things like happened in this judge's chambers, but just the normal course of business. Why would you put a camera there? I want to take a listen to this audio recording. We got this from the Attorney General's office. This is actually Ned's client speaking with investigators. Take a listen.
I made reference to the judge's chambers. Describe where these events happen. Is this an office area? Is this a...
You walk in, it's your first left, and there's a big desk. You walk in like this, and there's a big desk up there. There's a bathroom right here. There's no windows you can see outside.
Okay. What made you think it was the judge's chambers?
He said it was.
What judge's chambers do you believe that to be? Judge Mullins.
And I said, the cameras in here. And he said, no, and I still didn't believe it. You know, I was like, what's wrong? You know, maybe there was big cameras in the judge's chambers.
Okay, let me ask you, Ned, do we know the history behind the camera in the judge's chambers? Like, when it was there? Because it seems in that proffer that your client was making, she was asking, are there cameras there? And was told no, but didn't necessarily believe that. What are your thoughts? What have you found out about the history of the camera in the judge's chambers?
In my experience being in dozens of Appalachian courthouses, there are cameras usually in a conference room near the judge's chambers. My experience is I never heard of a camera being in a judge's private chambers before. What I read in the Mountain Eagle, which is an excellent local newspaper, they included in an article that they understood that the cameras were installed after my lawsuit was filed. In my lawsuit, I think you mentioned this, the allegation that Ms. Atkins was extorted for sex in the judge's chambers, as she said. But to answer your question, is it unusual for cameras to be in the judge's chambers? In my opinion, yes. In fact, when I heard about the shooting, I was surprised to hear that this video even existed. And I have no idea why cameras were put into the chambers. I'm fairly confident they were put in there after the incident with my client. And when and why they were subsequently added, it may be related to my case or maybe not, but it is. I've never heard of a judge having cameras in his chambers. This is the first I've heard of that.
Judge Larry, before we run out of time, go ahead.
Vinny, I served as administrative judge to 5 chief judges. So I was always walking into other judges' chambers to make sure everything was good. And none of these judges had cameras. None of them did. And then I was vice president of the judges for the state of Florida. And I would visit judges all over the state. No one had a camera in their courtroom. It's perverse for this judge to have a camera in his courtroom. It leads me to believe some of the theories that are being spoken about in this case, that this judge was off the chain, was off the charts. And I think the evidence will be showing that during the trial. I hate to predict that because it's pretty gruesome, but I think we're going to see some crazy stuff coming out of this trial.
I agree with you, Judge. Judge Larry Seidlin, great to see you. Thank you so much. Ned's going to stay.
Hold on. So it sounds like it sounds like, and somebody help me out in the chat. It sounds like they're saying that this judge particularly placed cameras in his chambers because it had some type of a sexual connotation to what he was doing in the chambers and what others were doing in the chambers as well. This is his sounds like they're saying he set up his own personal camera in his chambers for any sexual reasons. There are some, has anybody ever seen there's a TV show, man, it was a TV show that has something to do with his name was Axel, and he was like in charge of this large investment or whatever. I think it's called Billions, right? Is it called Billions? I think it's called Billions. Somebody help me out. The show Billions. It had Paul Giamatti in there, and he was a masochist type of dude. Masochist is someone who gets off on painful pleasures sexually. And it sounds like they're saying that this judge enjoys seeing himself do things that we all should not even think about what he's doing. And it sounds like they're saying the only way that this judge had a video in his chambers is if he put him there. It's if he puts him there, because nowhere in this case does it says that the state or the county had to put cameras in the chambers because of what happened even with the ex-sheriff. So it sounds like he was doing this on his own. Am I hearing this correctly? Am I off? If I'm off, just let me know. I'm very open to the idea. Am I off? Somebody help me out with that. That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. But let's continue. Wow, this is crazy, man.
Hey, with us, still to come. What was the relationship between the sheriff and the judge?
Regarding the
coming soon to court.
Suspected killer.
We will not stop fighting. We have no quit.
Regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to.
Right, bro. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. You feel me? Like, it sounded like my man was on like complete nasty time, bro. Like complete creepy nasty time. And he put them there. Like legit, dog. Like, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to the shooting.
So what was going on the day that Sheriff Mickey Stines shot the judge? Well, there was a lot going on that day. As a matter of fact, that wasn't the first time they had been in contact. Take a listen to Detective Clayton Stamper here, talking about what the sheriff and the judge were doing earlier the same day.
Prior in the day, there had been a lunch meeting between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins.
There was.
Pardon?
There was.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear your response. I wasn't being trite. So where did this take place?
It's a restaurant called Streetside, and it's just down the street from the courthouse.
Okay. And
Streetside Bar and Grill, Grill and Bar. That's where Mickey Stines had his meat lovers pizza with extra mozzarella with a little gabagool on the side. Mullins had a weird ass calamari raw sashimi type of something, because creeps, they eat raw. No, I'm just okay. Let me with juice, and they both had juices, okay, to wash down their whatever. All right, let's go.
Is my understanding there were a couple of other people who attended the luncheon?
There were several, yes.
Okay. And at some point after that, they wrapped up lunch and left, obviously, and went back to the courthouse. Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge Mullins and Sheriff Stines?
No.
Okay. But someone on behalf of the KSD has spoken to those witnesses?
Yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there was nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of
what
the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
It's my understanding there were some people who were having a meeting with Judge Mullins prior to the sheriff's entry into the chambers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you identified those witnesses?
I don't know the names of them. There's about approximately 4 people in there. Then Sheriff Stines enters the judge's chambers, and everybody else clears out.
They went to lunch. They went to lunch together. I mean, you've got the judge in town, you've got the sheriff in town. Obviously, they work in the same building. There's going to be a lot of interaction, which brings us to the next question in our investigation. It's about these two. What was the relationship between the sheriff and the judge? What was going on here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ned Pillersdorf is still with us and joining me. Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas, who spent some time investigating the story out in Kentucky. Cody, let me start with you. Any indication anywhere, whether from testimony or anything people were saying in town, about bad blood between these two? Or was it, my perception from where I'm sitting here is that like these guys knew each other and were somewhat friendly.
That's exactly right, Benny. These two worked under each other, or Sheriff Stines worked under Judge Mullins for over 10 years, presumed friends, going to lunch together, hanging out. Their families knew each other. No indication from Clayton Stamper, no indication from those people in the town that there was any sort of bad blood at all. But as you heard, they were at that lunch at Streetside Bar and Grill, which was only about 100, 150 yards away from where the chambers were. And they were there with a bunch of other people. And for Sheriff Mickey Stines to bring that up, to bring up whatever it was, we don't have the context of exactly what it was, but we know ultimately what happened once they left Streetside and went back to the chambers. So whatever was pressing him, whatever he felt that passionate about, for him to bring it up at that luncheon around other people, he must have felt very strongly about it, to take it back and then just a few minutes later ultimately end up shooting this judge.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's good. That's good right there. He brought it up in front of everybody, which means that it bothered him. It sat on him. Listen, this ain't something like he held it to himself and then he went in the chamber still and just popped off. No, he actually he said something in front of everybody about this. This is interesting.
Once they left Streetside and went back to the chambers. So whatever was pressing him, whatever he felt that passionate about, for him to bring it up at that luncheon around other people, he must have felt very strongly about it, to take it back and then just a few minutes later ultimately end up shooting this judge, no matter what the context of that may have been.
Yeah, it seems something came up at lunch. I want to play this. This is a testimony from Detective Clayton Stamper, Kentucky State Police, talking about another phone connected to this investigation.
There was one other phone that's currently being examined, and the basic reason it was seized was there was a text conversation between Sheriff Stines and some of his employees with the Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and that was an additional phone of Sheriff Stines.
It was a phone of, I guess she's the, I don't know what her title is, but she's employed. She's not sworn. She's employed by the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. And she voluntarily gave her phone to the person that interviewed her.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, what, can you explain why that was relevant or germane to your investigation?
I didn't conduct that interview, but it was, I guess it was regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to the shooting. But I don't have those results either, so I don't know exactly what was said.
And when he says dinner at Streetside, he's actually referring to the lunch at Streetside prior to the shooting. So Ned Pillersdorf, it just seems that there's a conversation at that lunch that is the genesis of some sort of tension between the judge and the sheriff. But these two have a history, as Cody pointed out. I mean, for years, the sheriff was the judge's bailiff. So there's a closeness there where they work very, day to day, day in and day out for years. So what are your thoughts about what could have happened or been discussed at lunch that may have been the genesis for this need to have a private meeting? I mean, could it be connected to the lawsuit that you filed?
Here's my speculation, my observation. Timing is important here. After we filed the civil rights lawsuit that made sweeping allegations, once again, the defendants deny those, we really attacked the power structure. We said the sheriff's department knew or should have known of these dastardly sextortion allegations my client were making. At that point, my client was still being prosecuted by Fields and the prosecutor for bail jumping and escape. And I briefly appeared in front of Judge Mullins, and I said, with all due respect, Judge, I think you need to recuse from this court hearing because we have filed a lawsuit in which we've alleged that the dastardly sex acts occurred in your chambers. At that point, it was about a 1-minute hearing. And if you read the transcript, it doesn't sound that bad, but Judge Mullins protested and pointedly assured me he could be fair and impartial and he didn't need to recuse. And of course, I had an ethical obligation to my client. I said, I think you should recuse. And Judge Mullins did recuse. It was about a 1-minute hearing. As a result of that, and this is just me, I felt so uncomfortable that day.
Hold on, cuz. Let's go back. 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 Hold on now. Let's listen to this one more again.
And the prosecutor for bail jumping and escape. And I briefly appeared in front of Judge Mullins, and I said, with all due respect, Judge, I think you need to recuse.
Hold on, here we go.
Here's my speculation, my observation. Timing is important here. After we filed the civil rights lawsuit that made sweeping allegations, once again, the defendants deny those, we really attacked the power structure. We said the sheriff's department knew or should have known of these dastardly sextortion allegations my client were making. At that point, my client was still being prosecuted by Fields and the prosecutor for bail jumping and escape. And I briefly appeared in front of Judge Mullins, and I said, with all due respect, Judge, I think you need to recuse from this court hearing because we have filed a lawsuit in which we've alleged that the dastardly sex acts occurred in your chambers. At that point, it was about a 1-minute hearing. And if you read the transcript, it doesn't sound that bad, but Judge Mullins protested and pointedly assured me he could be fair and impartial and he didn't need to recuse. And of course, I had an ethical obligation to my client. I said, I think you should recuse. And Judge Mullins did recuse. It was about a 1-minute hearing. As a result of that, and this is just me, I felt so uncomfortable that day with what he said. I have declined to ever go back to his court again. I've been offered to represent other people in Judge Mullins' court, and I just said after that experience, I didn't want to do it. Once again, I think if you read the transcript, it wasn't that bad. Judges don't like to be asked to be recused. And the thought hit me, and this is my speculation, that Judge Mullins did not appreciate my lawsuit. And the fact that he wanted to stay on Sabrina's case. Remember, she was charged with bail jumping. She was in jail at the time. She appeared by Zoom, and she was charged with a felony. The bail jumping is nonsense. Of course she was off the ankle bracelet. There was an agreement. That was part of the sextortion. And it was a 1-minute hearing. I mean, that's just my recollection, but I do remember that well.
That is absolutely shocking. I mean, under those circumstances, you almost shouldn't have to ask for a recusal. Like the judge should be saying, listen, I understand these allegations.
Dog, you won't recuse yourself after that? After that? Like, bruh, you literally are you're the reason why this is, oh my God, you're the reason why this is even popping off in the first place. And you're not going to recuse yourself. I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, man, should have done this sua sponte exactly right. Glanville did not like being asked to be recused. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't like that recusal. They don't like that. But dude, you are out of pocket right now, bro. Everything about this is revolving around the fact that you, like the lawyer just said, you're the one that made this deal with her. You know what I'm saying? How are you not? You're the reason why this is even happening. So how are you not recusing yourself? You're involved, bro. You're literally involved in this whole situation, and you won't recuse. So again, it goes back to what my man said in the earlier video about the fact that you can judge yourself, you can prosecute yourself, you can free yourself, you can do all that kind of stuff when you're in that particular type of position. He's only judging that county. That's in that particular county. I believe that he like, nah, I ain't gonna recuse myself. I'm 10 toes down, bro. This dude is crazy, man.
They're very close to home. The allegations involve the use of my chambers. Let me ask you, Ned, before we run out of time here, we have about a minute left. The program for that the sextortion was connected to, was this connected directly to this judge? Were all these cases that were being presided over by this particular judge?
Ankle bracelet programs have expanded exponentially in Kentucky. A lot of my clients are females. They're certainly subject to this sex extortion. And one of the reasons I don't mind getting on national TV is I'm hoping the good that'll come out of this is with this expansion of drug courts and ankle bracelets and lots of women. It's astonishing. Almost half my clients are women charged with drug charges. They are so vulnerable. And I'm hoping at the end of the day, because of this national publicity of this tragedy, people who run these programs will realize how vulnerable these women are to be sexually extorted. Fields pled guilty to 3 women. I don't think in Letcher County, Fields is the only guy who does this stuff.
Yep, I agree. Ned, we're out of time, but always appreciate you being with us. Cody Thomas, obviously great work as usual. It's hard to believe a shocking story of women being extorted for sex in a judge's chambers by the judge's bailiffs is not connected to the shooting of that judge by the sheriff in the same chambers. But it just seems there's more to this story. And whatever that more is will likely be the focal point of Sheriff Mickey Stines' defense when he goes to trial.
Man, look. All right, we done? Yeah. Yo, this is about to be crazy. This is about to be crazy. I am definitely going to continue to cover this case. It's going to trial, and we are definitely going to be covering this case for sure. I don't even care if I have to do a replay. If I'm busy throughout the day and it happened, and when I do a replay, we're covering this case. There is no way I'm not covering this case. This is exactly what I've been talking about for a long time, and I'm talking about even before I got on YouTube. The lazy corruption of the state that we pay our fine, hard-earned money for don't service us properly. This is another case where you got this freaking McNasty dude who can't get himself together in position of power and in a position where he abuses the power and then won't have enough fortitude, integrity to stand down as needed. And then you go work and you go take all that bull crap from your supervisor, your team manager, whatever you got going on. You take all that extra overtime, stand away from your family to make sure you take care of your family. You do all that stuff. And then they tax you for the work you do and give it to these people. These are public servants. So that means the public is paying them through taxes, and give money to these people. And this is what they do. Even if it don't come out on the news, or even if it doesn't come out in the public, this is how they roll. Privately, private meetings, private phone calls, private chambers, private. And then as soon as somebody exploits you, Brian Steele, as soon as somebody says, hey, we got word that this happened and I have to present it to this honorable court, so that because I got to do my due diligence for the law that I said that I swore I was going to uphold, then you try to throw me in jail for saying what need to be said. And then call your chambers sacrosanct when the whole thing ain't been nothing but corrupt in the first place. You're a debt collector, sir. That's all you are. You're not a judge. You're a debt collector. You are a recruiter. Prison is a business. Prison is a business. Vanguard and all these companies, they are prison investors, hoping that you go to prison, hoping that you get in trouble so they can get money, they can get paid. That traffic ticket you got today was a receipt, was an invoice to who? The court, the debt collection agency. And this is what they do. All they do is this. Now, here it is. This man who shot this judge, if you look at it on face value, if you look at everything, they're like, oh man, this dude was out of his mind. He shot somebody that's under the law. He shot someone that's a public servant. And then come to find out that man with the eyebrows, this man has been doing some diabolical, frivolous, insubordinate things for decades. And getting his little licks in too. No pun intended. To ensure that he don't get so he could get rewarded for his nastiness, if you will. He like, no, I want to get up in this too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna orchestrate this because I'm the judge. He put a camera in his office. Really? You that nasty, bro? Then all of a sudden, This happens at the time that it happens. And the next thing you know, you're gone. And that man said, they are trying to kidnap and take my wife and family. See, a lot of times we look at the crazy people and we just throw them in a category and be dismissive towards them because we too lazy to try to understand and connect. There's a lot of people who may not always have it together mentally, but they can't articulate it, but they have what it takes to confront it. They have what it takes to give you evidence of certain things. They may not be able to articulate it, but they can show enough tell you something. And what they tell you, because they don't register to your sense of normalcy or your idea of normalcy, then all of a sudden they are crazy. They become crazy because you can't understand them. So you become dismissive. This man is not crazy. Shawn Mickey Stines is not crazy at all. There was a motive behind it. And see, if that doggone video had audio, we'd get the whole thing. But let me tell you something. This is where we put our thinking caps on. And we start really paying attention and start discerning what's going on out here. Look, even with the YSL situation, do I still have faith in the judicial system? The answer is no. 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 Absolutely not. It's just like your boy Woody said on the stand. You got to give a little bit of good to get this bad going on. You got to tell these little lies so that way it look like the truth. And all I'm trying to do is get y'all up off me. Come on now. Come on now. This right here is crazy. This trial is about to be crazy. And I am all about covering it. I am definitely covering this trial. I'm definitely covering this case. I don't care if it's late. Day one of the trial, we watching it. We watching that whole boy. All right, we getting this in. This is because I am offended. I'm offended. I don't even live in Kentucky, but I'm offended at the fact that we all work. We all work hard. Some of us work hard, some of us don't. But we all get up every day to contribute to this society. This society taxes us and gives us service like this. It's a waste. And then if you do something wrong, they want to tax you again with the invoice of a ticket or probation or whatever the case may be, even if they make the mistake. I told y'all my story. The court made a mistake on my address and they still put me on probation. Oh, sweet. It's your fault I didn't show up for court. And not only is it your fault, you admitted it in front of the magistrate that it was your fault. And y'all still put me on probation. I still had to pay y'all money. Come on, man. Etowah County, Alabama. I got you, KP. Okay, I see she gave you the email. That's what's up. Amber Dawn Johnson said, Tay Biz, you so funny, bro. Funny and facts are rare these days. Folks are missing out, not being part of your lives. Hey, you got to share me out. Share me out. I'm telling you. It's going to be some comedy and it's going to be some facts at the same time. It's going to be some love. It's going to be some accountability. It's going to be a lot of things with this channel, man. I'm just getting started. I haven't even scratched the surface of what I got to offer to everyone, man. So thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. Say, yo, I bet that Cellbrite machine was about to blow up when they downloaded sheriffs and judges' phone. Listen, you already know that. Listen, them phones, there's so much information in them phones. They're like information overload. About to blow up in T-3, 2. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. KP said that camera has sound somewhere, dog. I mean, if you place the camera there, I'm pretty sure the software that you had to put it on your computer to monitor, do something, bro. Like, come on now. Shy Diggy. I'm sorry, I was say Shy Diggy, but I'm thinking about Raw Digger. I'm sorry. Says judge will come back with a 27-piece and semi-permanent jet black. He said it's not him. Exactly. Facts on facts, man. Facts on facts. Said shout out to Court TV doing the side-by-side court footage. Absolutely. You know what's so crazy too? Even with Court TV, they actually went a little bit deeper in this whole thing too, a little bit, because they went deeper into the audio of Sabrina, who whistleblowed this whole situation. So this is very, very, very interesting, man. But this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. Yo, I had to, when I found out this information, and I'm like, yo, because I remember doing a live on this, the initial live about this whole entire thing. I thought this was super crazy. Like, never heard of a sheriff doing any harm to a judge or anything, man. So this was very, very crazy to me. And then come to find out that it's deeper than what it looks like. I had to come on the live and say something, man. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. I'm about to go ahead and close this out, man. I appreciate you, Cat Not Williams. I appreciate you, KP. Appreciate you, Amber Dunn, them Johnsons. Tracy Talks. I know Factual Lie came through. I think Shy Diggy, I appreciate you. Let's see who else was in the chat. Of course, Chill, the mod of all mods in the building. I appreciate you. Tracy Talks, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Who else came in here early? I know Joe Worthy came in here earlier quoting another 48 hours, man. That was hilarious. I appreciate everybody coming through. Thank you all so much for coming on the live tonight. Yo, if you got any information, anything you want me to react to, any type of videos or whatever the case may be, any type of information that you think would be interesting, that you would like to see on this channel, please go ahead and email me at taybiz@gmail.com. TayBizTV, I'm sorry, at gmail.com. TayBizTV@gmail.com. There it is right there. All right. So I'm your boy Tay Biz. This is Biz Nation, man. Everybody put a Biz Nation hashtag in the chat as we roll out. I appreciate you, fam. Much love. Until next time. Peace.
Baby, I'm just too jiggy. Better know I brought that with me. Case they get too iffy. Baby, don't stress, don't sweat it. Put it all on my baby. Know how I'm coming. And they know what we hate. Run around through that left side, low end. All of mine need more wins. If you got beef, don't come out. Cause my young hitter might go in. Uptown GN. Working all through my weekend. Hoping these don't show out. Cause all of my hitters too deep in. With a boy, I'm so ashamed. Ain't worried about long as my money and my green. Baby, I ain't got work tomorrow. Tell me what the business is. Ain't about no club hop. I'm trying to start some businesses. Shorty, you thought it was, they better know it's not that. Talking all that online, they knowing that it's not fake. Sliding through my hood, I make maneuvers like a Uber, baby. Got a 10-year plan, these can't tell what they doing lately. And I'm way too clean, I'm Listerine, I thought they been knew it. All in my lungs, I got my red cup full of that hint fluid. Young middle Mad Mac, I'm swinging that leg, I'm banging that do or die. And I ain't that bleedly before I get crucified. Living in my bloodline, this place in my family tree. How the they pressed, I did my best out of what they handed me. Straight out of that country, know my shawty thick as human air. And I need not mention no extensions, that's human hair. Boy, we grew in there.